Good morning. 17th June, the World Day to combat drought and desertification. Yet another day when it is impertinent to draw the attention of one and all towards the resources we are blessed with, the land on which we live, the nature which sustains life. Once again, it is time to give ourselves the much needed jolt to reflect upon our attitude of taking things for granted and exploiting our resources to the extreme. The management staff, faculty members and students of HM Education Center feels it incumbent upon them to participate in the mission of spreading awareness among all for the revival of degraded land and changing it into healthy land, which will lead to economic resilience, create jobs, raise income, and recover biodiversity. Desertification is the process by which the biological productivity of dry lands is reduced due to natural or man-made factors. If exposed to drought for long periods, that is, they can turn into deserts and be affected by desertification. According to UN Convention to Combat Desertification, 25% of world's land area is either highly degraded or undergoing high rates of degradation. One of the steps we can take to help mitigate the impacts of drought is by conserving water. A check on overgrazing, deforestation, overexploitation of resources can prevent further hazards and help in the everlasting existence of human life on earth. देखो साथी, अपना है ये जग अनमोल, उजारो ना इसे कौड़ियों में तोल, है ये ईश्वर का देन, संभालो इसे दिलो जान से, क्या सुबह क्या रैन, मिल बांट के घर करेंगे उपयोग, धरती से है ये अपना संजोग. Thank you.
Greetings to my fellow viewers. Today we have assembled here to commemorate World Day Against Drought and Desertification. Soil is an immense hotbed of living organisms. It feeds us and we all depend on it. Even though it covers the earth in a thin layer that is only a few dozen centimeters thick, it is a site of intense activity and home to extremely rich ecosystem. Insects, worms and the billions of bacteria that live on soil digest minerals, plants and animal matters like a huge stomach. Then they convert this matter into nutrients necessary for plants' growth. These plants will in turn provide food for human beings and animals. But the fine layer around the earth is delicate and dry, and the arid environment which makes it particularly vulnerable. It takes 500 years to form 2.5 centimeter of soil, but only a few years to destroy it, and this is called desertification. Over the centuries, we have developed hyperproductive farming methods to feed billions of people. The use of chemical fertilizers weaken the living organisms responsible for soil fertility. Regular plowing dries out and compacts soil. Deforestation and overgrazing strips soil of vegetation cover that protect it from erosion. Without branches protecting it and roots supporting it, soil dries out and is carried away from wind and rain. Poorly managed irrigation system may also increase soil salinity and make it infertile. Climate change, also caused by mankind, worsens this problem. This is why land covering 12 million hectares, equivalent to Bulgaria, is lost every year. 110 countries are affected by soil degradation. Now, Vidhi Singh of class 4B is going to recite a poem for us.
आप सभी का इस पर्यावरण दिवस पर हार्दिक अभिनंदन। मैं विधि सिंह कक्षा 4B की छात्रा आप सभी के सामने एक कविता प्रस्तुत करने जा रही हूँ। इस कविता का नाम है मैं धरती। इस कविता की कवयित्री का नाम है वंदना शर्मा। आइए देखते हैं यह धरा हमें क्या कहना चाहती है। मैं जननी इस पावन जग की निश्चल और मनोहर रूप, बात रही मैं समान रूप से शीतलता हो या हो धूप। पर्वतों का मुकुट सजाया आंचल में हरियाली है। नदियों में चंचलता मेरी, पवन बहे नखराली है। भूल गए तुम मेरी ममता, स्वार्थ तुम्हारा जीत रहा। माँ के हृदय को छलनी करके समय तुम्हारा बीत रहा। मेरे धैर्य को परख रहे तुम, इतना न अभिमान करो। तुम्हें मिला जो कुछ भी मुझसे, उसका तुम सम्मान करो। नदी पेड़ पर्वत वायु सब इस जीवन का है आधार। संरक्षण करके तुम इनका धरती का मानो उपकार। धन्यवाद।
In all honesty, we human beings should not fall into such greed that we forget about the ones who gave us everything. Forthcoming is Bhavishya Sharma of class 6B and he is going to inform us about afforestation.
शुभ प्रभात। आप सभी को मेरा प्रणाम। मैं भविष्य शर्मा कक्षा 6 वर्ग ब का छात्र हूँ। आज मैं आपके सामने पर्यावरण संरक्षण पर कविता प्रस्तुत करने जा रहा हूँ। धरती की बस यही पुकार, पेड़ लगाओ बारंबार। आओ मिलकर कसम खाएं, अपनी धरती हरित बनाएं। पेड़ धरती की शान है, जीवन की मुस्कान है। धरती पर हरियाली हो, जीवन में खुशहाली हो। पेड़ पौधों को पानी दे, जीवन की यही निशानी दे। पेड़ लगाकर जग महकाकर, आओ पेड़ लगाए हम, जीवन सुखी बनाए हम। आओ पेड़ लगाए हम, आओ पेड़ लगाए हम। धन्यवाद।
Indeed true that without the coexistence of trees on this planet, our survival is impossible. Next coming is Rishabh Chatterjee of class 9B, who is going to present a presentation on World Day to combat desertification and drought.
Hello everyone, I'm Rishabh Chatterjee of class 9. We know today is the World Day to combat drought and desertification. What causes drought? Natural climate variability along with time duration leads to soil water deficiency, which ultimately results in drought and affects millions of lives around the world. Drought-prone areas of the world, India lies at the top, particularly the western coastal region of India. Drought impacts include anxiety or depression about economic losses, conflicts when there is not enough water, reduced income, etc. Preventive measures are there to avoid drought, such as enhancement of capabilities of long-range forecast to climate modeling and weather forecasting, but most of them sounds government initiatives. So we do also have some responsibilities in preventing them, and the key is afforestation and water conservation. Let us move on to desertification. What causes desertification? Erosion, climate, soil, and other human factors like groundwater disturbance, removal of plant cover, management and demographic ultimately leads to desertification prone areas. Again, if we look into the desertification vulnerability map, we can see that the western region of Asia is the red zone of desertification. Preventive measures to avoid desertification for common people is to just plant trees. Make every day of your life a Van Mahotsav. Let us peep into one of the modern technologies which has given a groundbreaking contribution to the helpless at times of scarcity of water during droughts. So don't waste water, remember every drop counts.
In fact, desertification affects all mankind because soil exhaustion is reducing world food production, and as consumption and population are on increase, it becomes harder to feed billions of human beings. Every year, the equivalent of 20 million tons of cereal is lost through desertification and yet is not irreversible. A possible solution is planting trees to anchor the soil, increase the moisture levels and slow down wind erosion, like in north of China, where billions of trees have been planted to form another Great Wall. Africa has also started building its Green Wall from Senegal to Djibouti. Fighting desertification means preserving soil and feeding the planet. With this, we have come to the end of our program. We must all continue our strive to protect our Mother Earth. Thank you.